What does it mean to be in your power? What does it mean to be sovereign? What does it mean to be a woman living at this time in her full potential? I'd love to hear your thoughts on that, and I'll give mine. So for me, it means speaking my truth and actualizing my power and not holding back and looking at the fears that have kept me small and deconditioning from my beliefs of who I am and what it is I am to be doing or what I think I need to be doing, and shedding all of that and coming back to the truth of my essence so that I can actualize my purpose in this body in this lifetime. This is something that I have been personally devoting to for the last couple of years, especially this past year. I have been processing some of the deepest traumas of my experience in this life, in this body, creating safety for myself in order to go into these things. And I realized that this is something that's very inaccessible to most people if they don't quite have that doorway in. They don't quite know how to let themselves just do nothing without feeling guilty, or they're not quite sure how to feel purposeful, even if their life is so full. It might not actually be fulfilling. So I've been really inspired by these women's circles that we've been having in our community on this island that I live on in the middle of the ocean. And I have been putting a lot of my focus into my present reality and feel called to now come back into this virtual space to offer myself in this way to open to these deeper realms. And I am launching a program next month that will be 4 months long, and it's called Seasons of Sovereignty. So we're going to be focusing on the 4 elements, the 4 seasons, the 4 directions, and I'll be working with 4 women. So I'm looking for 4 women that want to go super deep. It's not a group container. This is a one-on-one experience. And I'm really looking for that essence of the cocoon, and for each of us to take this journey together to go diving inward. This is the perfect season for that. Diving inward and then rebirthing ourselves and coming out on the other side a completely new person. So I will be holding space for that transformation, and I'm putting this invitation out into the world to call forth those women to take this journey with me, and most of all, to make this commitment to themselves to actually come into their purpose at this time, to come into that sovereignty, whatever it means for each woman, to actualize her purpose and to actualize her power right now. So, if that's you, let me know. Otherwise, I'd like to dive deeper into this experience of what that feels like. So, there's going to be, in this journey, meeting every other week. There will be activations, there will be clearings, there will be invocations, and then that will bring us into journey work and really going into spiritual realms and uncovering pieces of ourselves that we may not have been able to claim because they've just simply been hidden. So in that experience, whether it is you that personally joins this container or not, this is still an invitation to dive into that space during this time. And actually going in to those spaces that want attention, that want love, and asking, how can I open this part of myself? What's blocking me from opening this part of myself? And taking that deepening, that inward deepening, and riding it to the end, through, all the way through, feeling the feelings, not disassociating, distracting, avoiding, actually going into the shadow realms and recovering the treasures that hide there, that we have put there, because in previous times it hasn't been safe to open them, it hasn't been safe to actualize them, to give ourselves permission as women to actually be in our power. I know for me, I've been having this deep initiation with the goat spirit. Actually, I work a lot with the animal kingdom, and so if you work with me, you'll find that this is true. I'm really embodied in my primal essence. But recently, I've been learning a lot from the goat spirit, the horned one, and this concept that the horned one, like Pan, some of you may have heard of Pan or know who I'm talking about. This half human, half goat creature. It's like this bridge into that natural world and what that means. And so I've been having this initiation with this essence, and it's teaching me that the innocence of life, it rests in these creatures. And recently I was told this story that the Huichol people actually don't pray directly to God, but they pray to the Cayumari, which is a deer spirit. And for me, I work a lot with the deer spirits, the goat spirits, the sheep, these innocent creatures that are just so attuned into the present moment, and they embody the innocence and the essence of nature. So I learned this song on the Big Island, and I'll sing it to you actually. My body is a sacred temple of love. My body is a sacred temple of love. My body is the body of the goddess. My body is the body of the horned one. My body is a shrine for truth. So I learned that song on the Big Island, and it really sat with me because I felt this raw primal essence of the horned one. And I came back to Maui and I attended a song circle, and this song was brought forward. I'm like, oh wow, this song is so alive right now. It's only in all of these song circles on the different islands. And the verse horned one got edited out and replaced with like one love. And I was just so disgusted because I realized that there's this collective wound in some spiritual circles and communities. They don't want to look at the horned one. They don't want to look at the darkness, the dark feminine essence, the mystery, the confronting parts, right? Cast them out, put them aside, don't want to see it. Let's just rainbows and unicorns over it, right? And so I'm realizing this importance of this horned one, this primal essence, this energy. So I've been working with this goat spirit and realizing these deeper truths of what it means to free the horned one within me. And that has taken me into so many deep layers of how we relate to animals, how we relate to the earth, how we relate to ourselves, and how we relate to other humans. All of this is a reflection of the wounding that is personally and collectively present, which at this time during Scorpio season is really kicking up dust right now. And so how can we meet that space? How can we actually go into those depths and free these parts of ourselves that like might be actually really scary to put out into the world? For me, when I go into, okay, I want to free these parts of myself, this fear will come up. Like, oh, someone's going to hurt me if I let this part of me out, you know, and then I dive into that work and what is that and where is that in my body, you know, and there's so many layers to this. So I just wanted to offer that little piece of wisdom and as a little taste of how we can get these doorways in to, like, oh, I can't see this. And it is simple as a verse of a song being edited and me going into that deep realm of, wait a minute, the horned one is me. That's my dark feminine. That's my animal body. She doesn't want to be denied or ignored. She wants to be claimed. You know, she's just as powerful and important as my angelic self. The descension is just as important as the ascension. So this feels like a potent little bite-sized piece of the truths that have been moving through me, and I'm going to be sharing more about different pieces that are moving through me. And in this moment, I just wanted to invite all of us to dive a little bit deeper into what sovereignty means, what our primal essence might look and feel like, and what fears might be present for us when we come in, when we feel, oh, I want to come into my power, I want to come into my prowess, but then we don't. And we shrink and we pull back and we silence. That's the deeper invitation that I'm bringing forward at this time. So I'd love to hear what that means for you. I'd love to hear what you feel and what is arising for you in that invitation. Stay wild.